Guys, it's Sarah with Grassroots Evolution. Welcome to my channel. This is a weekly message for fire signs. So if you are a Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius, this could be for you for the week of May 6th through to the May 12th. It is dated, but it's not necessarily date specific or time specific. So know that we may be picking up on a situation that's happened, that is currently happening, or that is yet to come. And no matter what our cards say, what advice we get, it's still up to you guys and your active free will and the choices you make and the steps you take to get the fulfillment that you'd like to see in the world. So if you don't agree with the cards or you don't like what they have to say, don't dwell on them. Go about your day and know that ultimately, again, you have so much power in the choices that you make. So if I resonate with you, wonderful. If you're new to my channel, please feel free to subscribe at the end. It would be wonderful to have you along the journey with me. And for all my subscribers and anyone who's been with me for a while, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. I love you all, and it's wonderful to get your energy. So anyway, well, not get your energy, but encounter your energy, okay? So let's just take a moment here. I'm going to ask Archangel Michael to jump in to guide, guard, bless, and protect this reading. And any of you guys, if you want your angels or guides in your life, just ask for them to be here. They're here for us. And just ask again that they're for our highest good. And I'm going to ask my team of light to jump in and join me and to use me as the clearest channel possible for any of you guys watching. So before I get into any tarot, what I'm going to do is bring a message from the Postcards from Spirit Oracle, and this is by Colette Baron Reed. And they're just little channeled postcards from Spirit and what they would want us to know. So I'm going to ask Spirit. This is for Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius, fire signs. Thank you. And this is the week ahead. So this will be May 6th to May 12th, but again, know that if whenever you're seeing this, it may be for you, okay? It's not necessarily date specific. So we have here two kind of cherubs on the front, and it says, you are magic. And always remember that. Come to your world with innocence, knowing that you are magic. And the more we can allow ourselves kind of this innocent childlike mind to see the world around us differently, the more we really do open the possibilities for magic to enter into our life, because the more we have to be open, right? So while I read this, whatever it invokes for you, if it triggers you, if it invokes an emotional reaction, pay attention to it, okay? Use it. Use this empowered vulnerability. What is it here for? How can you bring it into conscious awareness and bring about change in your day-to-day life, okay? So, dearest you, pump up the music, bang the drums, get on and start up that hustle towards your goals and dreams. There are times to be still, but this is not one of them. Now is the time to make that first move. Say yes to life. Pick up the phone. Make that decision and take that one step toward the gods or us. Expect a cascade of changes, good news and opportunities to show up, as if by magic. Well, we know it's really Spirit and all of us moving things around for your benefit. The point is that we are saying, go for it. Take positive action towards your dreams. Even if the outcome isn't an exact fit for your agenda, it will all be orchestrated by Spirit and arrive in divine appropriate timing. Don't you just love how it all works? We love you so much. So guys, whatever you're thinking about doing, if there's been something on your mind for a while, jump in full force, go for that, take that endeavor, and again, remain open. You know, as Spirit's saying, remain open to how it manifests in your life. If you have an agenda and you are being pulled in a different direction that seems totally counterproductive to where you think you're wanting to go, still remain open, because if your soul is taking you somewhere, why, right? Don't deny that primal kind of instinct or primal desire within us, okay? So let's get some tarot, and today I'm using the Zombie Tarot. I'm not exactly sure who it's by, but in case anybody's interested, the box looks like this, and it's pretty cool because it's even like it's ammunition for the zombie apocalypse, so it kind of looks like ammunition. It's pretty cool. But let's get in here, and the book is pretty precise, so it's kind of a cool little introduction to tarot, in my opinion, too. Spirit, what would you have? Oh, there's a few. So we have Temperance in the reverse, the Eight of Wands and the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Wands is something quick, right? Like, this girl is about to be eaten by a zombie. Where the heck did the rollerblading zombie come from? You know, if this is quick, fast movement, could be communication, could be quick insights. And we also have the Eight of Cups here, and this is realizing that you need to walk away from the things that are no longer for you, that are no longer meant for you. And that does mean sometimes this could just be energy. It doesn't have to necessarily be people. It could be, you know, things that we hold, defense mechanisms, things that we hold in our heart that aren't necessarily for our own highest good, or even just this, what is keeping us out of balance. And this could be for you to take that leap and go forward. If you have been feeling out of balance, it may be this quick understanding of, I know now. I know how to get there. And eights are about cycles. And I'm actually going to pull in, before I go too much further, a past life oracle by Doreen Virtue, because eights are also this infinity and this idea of we've had multitudes of cycles. You're touching on two here of being out of balance. One in being our passion and the way that we go and where we're driven in our creative endeavors, and the other being in our hearts and needing to know here what cycles are we going in, right? What are we wanting to chase after and go grab? Ooh, there's my wand. So Spirit, can you clarify? Thank you. And we have phobias here as something that's come out, and there could be, like with balance needing to be restored, there could be a lot of phobias towards walking away from things. This right here is whatever mall or supermarket or whatever it is, this woman has to walk away from the world that she knew because it no longer represents what it used to. It no longer looks the same. She's no longer able to see it as she used to, because now it's so very clear, the decay and how everything is just decomposing around her. If you want to even look at the zombies, is what I'm hearing. But I'm actually, let me see the book for the phobias. I'm going to read for you what the book says about that. So, okay, phobias. This card comes to you compassionately to help you connect the dots between current life phobias and past lifetimes. Often consciously remembering the past life source of your anxieties is enough to release their grip on you. The situation you're inquiring about has its basis in underlying fears or phobias. These fears are energy blocks, which are slowing or prohibiting the results you desire. Phobias have to do with the impulse to have complete mastery over situations that are out of your control. They also bring up many trust issues. Your higher self and unconscious mind know the original source of any phobias you may have manifested. You can unearth the origins of these phobias through past life regression or even through dream work. For example, as you're falling asleep, ask your higher self to give you information that you'll remember upon awakening that's related to the phobia. By directly confronting your underlying fears, you can lessen their hold on your unconscious. It's all about awareness. And I've done this before, and be open again to the messages that you get. They may not be as clear, so be also forthcoming with Spirit or your higher self, asking them to be in the clearest message possible for you. But this could be, these quick insights, right? This dream of what is my phobia towards going after my dream? What is my phobia towards, going after what I'm passionate about and leaving what I'm not? What is keeping me out of balance? Those are kind of the blocks that we need to work through. And the bottom of the deck here is Greco-Roman, and we also have wars and battles, and I feel like forgiveness was important, as well as biblical is under here with Atlantis. So there's a lot. You could have had many, many past lifetimes, but there could be here, I'm hearing cruelty due to Atlantis and wars and battles. There could have been a lot of persecution as well. The Greco-Roman times combined with biblical were pretty violent, gruesome times at times. So, and I'm losing my voice as we go here, but a lot of changes, when changes are made, the ruling class or the regimes, the silencing, okay? Not to get too biblical on you guys, okay? But for anyone unfamiliar with the, the culture, okay, at the time when Jesus was starting his ministries, he was really seen as a rebel. He was saying things that was completely against his church. It was, or the church, not his church, but it was completely different than what had been disseminated as knowledge and spiritual knowledge. And I mean, at the time, women weren't allowed in the temples and the synagogues. They weren't allowed in there, and he was treating women as equals and giving them the same information as the men were entitled to. But the more, from what I've read, okay, anyone interested, if you like Dolores Cannon, keep an open mind, but there's a book called, there's two of them, but the one, Jesus and the Essenes, and another one, they walked with Jesus. The one about they walked with Jesus really kind of goes into past life regressions, but it explains this culture of resistance, really, that when we think about Jesus, and this will come up with the air signs as well, forgiveness, we often think of that as one of the most important principles when we think about Jesus or Christianity. It's a lot of forgiveness because of the, it's kind of archetype of dying for our sins. And I'm not trying to preach to you guys, and I apologize if it sounded like that, but this is the example I'm getting given, is that at one point, he was a rebel, and he was a change maker, and he died for it eventually, right? Essentially. There are times when we're about to make change that if we're seen as small and insignificant, whatever, once we start to gain momentum, the powers that be could get really terrified. And this could be why phobias are here. Have you in the past, have you had a lifetime in the past, has this been cyclical, where you have been, I heard creator of knowledge, okay? But there could be times where forgiveness needs to come somewhere on a soul level for cruelties. And I mean, sometimes we could hold on to something and not really know why we're holding on to it until we get a flash from an Akashic record kind of meditation, or like, again, like this card suggested, is when we go to sleep at night, ask our higher self, ask spirit to show us something to link up, as well to help us with this past life. Because if our soul is still holding on to something and still working through these cycles of not letting go and being afraid to bring that balance, we're not going to learn the lesson. And I have finances at the bottom. I was just guided to pick this. So again, like, take how this resonates, but there are so many different intersectionalities to us. Your gender, your race, your ethnicity, your orientation, how you gender yourself, your economic status. And I mean, if we think back to biblical and Greek, economic status, things could get pretty bad if you were poor as well, right? And there could be all of these kinds of things still trapping you in some certain mindset. And I feel like this is also why the Eight of Wands is here. It's time to do that quick flash. What do I need to bring balance? Oftentimes, like, again, like the book said, when we can figure out what it was that had the hold, as soon as it's acknowledged, it can be released. So really work through any phobias you're holding on to. Try and work through whatever past attachment it may be. It may be in childhood, something that happened that you're not even quite consciously aware that you do because of it, but some inner work may bring that out and bring forgiveness to yourself and heal the situation. Just release the attachment for yourself there. Okay? So I'm going to ask a little bit more, Spirit, about this Eight of Cups. Just one more card before we move through. No, I'm actually going to... Bottom of the deck is like to bring the completions, right? Bring endings to that cycle. This is, again, those eights. Just walking away and bringing endings to that cycle. Spirit, thank you. This is prosperity happens. So this is John Holland, with the throat. It's time to speak up. That brings balance as well. Got positive moving forward on the bottom. In reverse, but that's not really important. I feel like this may be, the phobia may again be speaking. What are the words that we have? Do they go against the grain? Do they go against what other people say? Do they go against other belief systems? How we've been persecuted for the way that we speak? Have we been persecuted for the way that we talk, the way that we think, the way that we create? It's time to heal this. Have you had, there could be even instances where you have been physically restrained from being able to speak. If those are cycles where you felt unheard as well, it could be a quick snap to be like, you know what, I need to release the attachment to not feeling heard, because from here on out I forgive myself for not being able to communicate effectively, or when others are unable to acknowledge me, I forgive myself for holding an attachment to that, and I can now allow myself to remove myself from the situation and see that, again, their inability to understand me, to hear me, to see me truly, that is not a judgment on me. That's not a judgment on you. That's a judgment on them and their level of perception and where they are in this reality. And once you understand that, once you bring balance in, real things start to change here. And this is partnership, planting a seed and watching things grow and coming into fruition. And this is in this grounded, fruity place, okay? Where you're going to taste the nectar is what I heard of this peach. So words, often as well, the Eight of Wands is a communication card. So it could be time to speak. If whatever it is that you're wanting to go for, it's definitely time to say, hey, I want to talk to you. Or if you're asking for forgiveness, if you need to give it, if there's a phobia towards, being able to use your voice, it's time to find a way to work through that. I'm going to ask one message from the Whispers of Love Oracle before I move on, because I'm going to bring a message from the Crystal Mandala Oracle as well. Briefly, we may run out of time, but so bottom of the deck I'm asked, speak the language of love, right? This is, it's funny, when you're asked to look, and there it is. Use your words, man. Guys, man, that's my words, but use your words. Use them clearly, use them concisely, use them confidently, use them with balance, with all of the tools available to you. Help release the phobias to being able to speak what you need to speak, so that once you speak and once you feel heard and once you're speaking your love language, if the people around you aren't able to comply, I guess, it's easier for you to walk, because if they're not able to work with you, okay, however that is, it needs to be moving away. If your situation, not even necessarily people, right, but again, if this is, thought patterns aren't here, okay, this is heart space, but if this is quick reactivity as well with the Eight of Wands, always not being in balance because things are quick to react and then taking them personally, it could be time to talk. Because once we do this, we bring brand new starts. What we are willing to communicate and the people and situations we're willing to put the energy into to fixing things, to speaking love, and loving words have the power to change someone's life, including your own. When we are like that with people, we can really change our worlds. And we get here, physical touch is important. Sometimes just a hug. For some of us, nothing is more important than a tender touch. This might include a pat on the back, giving a hug to someone who needs it. If this is within a romantic relationship as well, give them a kiss on the hand. Extend that. And the only thing in love that is real is love. So shift your focus from the problem back to love. Don't focus so much on the phobias and what could go wrong. Bring forgiveness there and think of what could go right, what could be new, what could be beautiful. Shift my focus. Be loving, so speaking love, being loving in our physical worlds, and being open with each other. So just one last message. If I cut out, I apologize, guys, but that's going to come in. We get acceptance and Archangel Aniel and pink calcite. So it may be a stone to work with or some of the properties, but this is accepting who you are, accepting what has been, what will come, and being able to know that that's where your peace is, because we're not as easily hurt when we can accept our own feelings, other people's feelings, and then somewhere in the middle, whatever forgiveness needs to be or whatever the phobia was, we can heal